Reading keeps your body and soul together. Reading is your gateway to success. Welcome to Readers for Growth, our educational program where we encourage children to form a good reading habit. I am Busola Faiga Okpelu, and on the program I have Daniel Orijojogo. Welcome
yes,
onto the program.
Thank you, ma'am.
Treasure Onoja.
Thank you, ma'am.
David Orijojogo.
Yes, ma'am.
Favor Osea.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Our guest this week on the program is a pastor, a coach, a musical trainer, a motivational speaker, and a broadcaster, Princess Pat Mohie. Don't go, we'll be right back.
Ma, are you a princess by blood?
Yes, I am. I'm from a royal family, the Erijo royal family in Aviara town in Isoko South Delta State.
Ma, do you think reading is important as a gospel minister?
Definitely. Reading is for everybody, treasure. Reading is a treasure that God has given to everybody and that everybody needs to take advantage of, because when you read, you increase your knowledge about every and anything you're interested in. So when you sit with people, you can freely discuss. If they're talking about hairdressing, you can talk about it. If they're talking about animals, you can talk about it. You can basically, hold a conversation with anyone. So it's for everybody.
Ma,
yes.
how long have you been in ministry?
I've been in ministry, I think, last October was 31 years. So, I'm old. I'm getting there. Yes.
Ma, as a gospel minister, how often do you read?
I won't lie to you because we have to be real. In my younger days and when I was less busy, I used to read a lot. Sometimes I could read a book a day, but now I try to make sure that every quarter, at least I read a book, one quarter of book. So it's not as often as before, but I still enjoy reading a lot. And another thing I do every day, we have the world at our feet via the internet. So I always go to the internet every day to read something and find out something new. So there.
Okay, ma, thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
It benefits to read. You grow higher when you read, and you gain wisdom when you read.
Readers who read to improve themselves, who read to educate themselves, and who read for success rule the world.
For you to grow and become a senator, you must learn how to read. Read to understand. Read as many books as you can.
Reading helps you develop yourself intellectually, academically, and otherwise.
The secret to being proficient in reading is to read every day and to read outside of your curriculum, to read novels and to read books of interest.
A well-read child is a cultured child, a successful citizen, and the future of our great country. And that's why all parents need to encourage their children to read.
Read today, lead tomorrow.
Okay, today, you know what? Since we're talking about reading and what we do, how we love reading and all of that, what I really want to talk about with you guys is to find out about your talents, your innate giftings. we have, every one of us on earth, every human being on the face of the earth has a natural skill, gift, talent, if you want to call it. Something that comes to you naturally that you do. So can I find out from you, Daniel, what's your natural talent?
Well, I love writing.
You love writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. I can see the smile on your face when you said that. So do you have anything working?
Well, presently I'm writing on a book yet. I'm not.
Great.
Yes, I'm not done with it.
But you started.
I started, yes.
And make sure you finish.
Yes, ma'am.
The important thing is to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
And finish good. So just take your time. And you, Treasure?
I like singing.
You love to sing? Oh, that's my girl. Yeah, I love to sing. I sing as well. I'm a trained broadcaster, but I moved to music, so that's my thing. So what's that song that makes you happy?
Chinedu.
Chinedumo. Why?
The expression and everything.
The expression, the groove and all that. And Mercy Chinwo, she carries that. Right? Okay. Okay. And you?
I love acting and dancing.
Acting and dancing. I was waiting for somebody to get there because that's also my turf. You know, I started off in school writing a lot of the dramas. I was in everything social club. I was in the debating. I just found out that creativity was my thing. That was my zazz. You know, when you talk about creativity, I come alive. So my talk to you today is, whatever your gifting is, begin to put it to work. Put it to work because it's for you and it's for others to enjoy. So just have a goal with your creative self. Start with yourself at home. You told me earlier that you love to sing by yourself, you know, and all that. Well, it's good. You own it and then you begin to express it and let others enjoy it. So my word to you today is take your creativity, put it to work, and let it bless you and let it bless others. As a dancer, what you could do is think of new steps, interesting steps. I mean, think like a choreographer. I love to dance. You could think, the person who came up with, is it Azonto and all those other ones and all that, they had to think about it. So you do that. And for you, you said you love to read. You can actually go online and find out, how can I improve my reading? How can I improve my reading so that when I read to people, I want them to just feel the story, you know, and just be there with me and all that so that they will enjoy, you know, what I do. And for you, writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you check out other authors?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's your line writing?
I like writing fictional books.
Fictional. Fictional is beautiful because you can create anything into your world. So begin to put your imagination to positive use, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you singing, do you believe you can write a song? If you can sing, you can write a song. So take it further. Take it further. Every gift and talent you own, it's yours. You can put it to work and it will work for you. Do you believe that?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm looking forward in future to hear great things about you guys, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So just give me a high five from that side. Let's go. Hey, right. Okay. All right, let's get down to our reading. We're continuing with the book, Adamu and His Horse. And today we're taking chapter 16. Adamu nudged the horse in the direction the old man had described. It was obvious the horse was spent, for he did not gallop again. Instead, it loped along the bushy track, galloping occasionally. However, Adamu and his horse were about to cross the stream at the foot of the village when they met a middle-aged woman. Again, Adamu asked for directions to be sure he was on the right track. "Woman, kindly direct me. I am going to one Danladi Meaiki who once lived in this village. but later moved to another village.
Oh, that
Adamu inquired from the old woman.
Oh, Danladi Aiki?
Yes, Danladi Aiki.
I never knew him, but my father knew him so well when he was here. I was just a little child when Danladi Aiki moved to Garin Usman, which he founded because he was very rich.
Hope became livened in Adamu, but then he asked the woman, "Can you tell if he's still alive?"
Alive? Danladi Aiki alive?
Yes. Can you tell if he's still alive?
That's one thing I cannot tell. If he's not dead yet, he should be very old now. I suppose he's in my father's age group, and my father now is aged. So aged that he does not recognize people again. He hardly talks and sees. His sight is already blurred.
Adamu was dazed. The flame of hope that had glowed in him began to dim. He doubted if he would ever meet face to face with Danladi Aiki, the custodian of his father's treasure of immense value. He also thought it unrealistic that the man, if still alive, would acknowledge having in his custody the treasure, for these were the days when friends betrayed friends and cheated on each other. When trust were betrayed, and ambitious men with heart of darkness went into evil just to amass gold and other precious stones. These were the days when honesty was an ancient virtue which had died with time. How then would a man own up as being the keeper of another man's treasure, which he had been entrusted in his care decades of dry seasons back? If the man denied ever knowing or meeting at one time or another anybody named Musa Usman, then Adamu's efforts would have gone up in the flames of vanity. Even then, another thing agitated Adamu's mind, the hidden feature on the horse, which death did not allow his father to show him. He was really troubled. His father had told him that without the identification of the feature, he might not be able to access the treasure. Now, as before, he realized the foolishness of his rash decision to come on the journey. But how long does it take to get in Usman? Adamu asked the woman after he had regained consciousness.
I have never been there myself, but people who have said it is far, far away. It is in another emirate. I think it is several days' journey.
Several days' journey?
Yes, several days' journey. They said, but I advise that as you go, ask for directions so that you do not miss your way. It may not be as far as people said when you go on a horse.
Adamu thanked the woman and gave her a piece of precious stone in appreciation. Forgetting Usman, Adamu and his horse then headed. Adamu understood the plight of his horse. He no longer jabbed it hard, but allowed it to go at its own pace. Because the horse was tired, Adamu stopped several times on the way for it to rest. Many times, he fed it with herbs for it to regain lost energy. However, the strength gained the herbs did not last long, and the horse became weary again. Certainly, the strain of the journey was fast telling on it, and this gave Adamu a sorrowful concern.
Adamu soon knew that the health of his beloved horse was failing fast. The horse had begun to sneeze violently, with black and heavy mucus oozing out of its nostrils.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Adamu felt sad, very sad and troubled. He could not afford to lose his horse. He was not actually seeing an animal in the horse. Rather, he saw a close and age-long, confidant and companion in the horse. In spite of its deteriorating health, the horse still loped on with dogged determination that amazed its owner. It was as though it had a strong will to live.
The failing health of the horse soon affected Adamu. He was filled with misery. Nothing excited him anymore. His thoughts went to his friend, the horse. He felt frustrated and dejected. He lost appetite for food, so he seldom stopped to eat. In addition to the ill health of his beloved horse, Adamu himself was fatigued to the very marrow of his bones. He suffered a severe back pain for sitting on the back of the horse for many days. His feet were also swollen for not touching the ground for several days, except occasionally when he stopped to ease himself or have his meal. And when he did, he ate sitting on the horse. Adamu kept inquiring from passers-by about one Danladi Meaiki. And that's the end of the chapter. All right, my first question is for you, Favor. What did you learn from this chapter today?
I learned that we should, whenever we go, we should ask questions. We should ask for directions.
Exactly.
And we should not be too confident, or we should not be like we know everything. So
I love that. I love that.
Always ask for directions.
Always ask for directions.
And learn to learn from people.
Learn to learn from others.
Yes, ma'am.
Write that down and keep that. Make that your mantra, girl. Always ask for directions. Did we all hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I love that. Learn to learn from others. Okay, life is about learning. And I just learned something from you that I know, but I'm reminded to learn from others. So what in particular did Adamu do that impressed you? I want you to give me a practical example of what you're talking about.
Like when his horse was sick,
yes,
well, he felt it. It was if it's other people, they'll be like that. It's just just animal. But Adamu felt it as his confidence, because the horse has been with Adamu throughout the journey. So Adamu really felt the sickness and was ready to make the horse to be better. But instead, the sickness affected Adamu. That should show the love and affection he has for his animal.
For his horse, his
Yes,
companion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do we all agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So, David, I want you to tell me, what did you think about the conversation between Adamu and the woman? How did it help Adamu's journey? Yes.
During the conversation, Adamu got more information about the person he was going to see.
Bravo.
Where the person was going to, and how long it took to get there.
How long it took to get there. So do you think that they had a good rapport?
Yes,
what did you think the woman, what was her contribution? How did it help Adamu?
It helped Adamu because Adamu was looking for, and her father was great friends.
Yes.
So she had information about the man, and
she had information. You cannot give what you don't have.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't have information, you can't share it. So did you hear that? That's key. Give me 5. It's okay. So just do it like that, She had information, and so she became useful. It means that Adamu came across the right person, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So information is power. Thank you so much, David, for that. Okay, let's move on to you, Treasure. My question for you is, from the reading, we could see that at some point Adamu was discouraged, especially after they said the Danladi Meaiki had moved away to found another village, and all that. He was discouraged. But how did the woman's advice to him, what did she say in particular to him that helped him to want to continue the journey to look for Danladi Meaiki?
From what I learned
Yes.
that He made his self-consciousness come back, and that was what enhanced him to want to go for the journey.
Yes, she said something in particular to him, which is connected to what Favor said. But I want to see if we all remember. What did she say to him? You know, there was something she said at the first. Okay, let me give you a clue. She said, they said it's very, very far away. But then she now turned around and said something else to encourage him to go on. So what's that encouraging word?
But with a horse, the journey
may not be that far. There you go. You know, she could tell that he was already discouraged. You know, though he was thinking to himself, but when he came to, she could tell that the fact that she told him, that place is very far away. It's in another emirate, she said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So he could tell that, she could tell rather that he was discouraged. So she said, but you know what, it may not be as far as people say, especially when you are
On
with
your
a
horse.
with a horse. That really helped Adamu. Because in life, it's one thing to give people advice, it's another thing to give them hope. She gave him hope. She gave him hope. She had information, vital information. She could give directions, and she gave him hope. What was the last thing? Now, that's my question for you, Daniel. What was the last thing she said to him?
She told
to do as he was going along.
To ask for directions.
Thank you. Thank you. He said, just keep asking for directions. In other words, she was saying to him, Mr. Adamu, or Mr. Man, I'm sure she didn't know his name. As long as you keep asking for directions, you will get to where you're going. Okay, so have we all learned something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anybody has anything else to add to it?
I'm just okay. Imagine when he was asking for directions. You know, it's not everybody meets the right. Like he was
I
fortunate
know.
enough to meet the old
The
man.
right person. He met the right person. Because it has happened to me several times. People say, just go straight. Then when you go straight, you turn 1, 2, 3 left. After you get there, just be going. You will see. And it doesn't help anybody, and you can just like, I might as well just turn back and go home. But she wasn't like that. He really met with the right person, okay? So, yeah, yes. Anything else?
I like that we should be passionate of everything around us, because he was passionate of his horse.
His horse, yeah. The horse was his companion, and he had such empathy and love for that horse that, you know, he was willing to do anything. We read that he even stopped at some point just to let the horse rest. Okay? Isn't that great?
Yes, ma'am.
Any last words from anybody before I conclude?
I learned that we should appreciate, because he gave her a precious stone to show his appreciation.
Thank you. I was actually waiting for somebody to mention that. You know? So it's good to show what? Appreciation. I have a friend, and we say it to each other, you know, quite often, because my dad used to tell me, it's not all the time that you say thank you with just words. You can say thank you with actions, with a gift. Sometimes, not all the time. And of course, you don't demand it, but he was sensible enough. He was kind. It showed the kind of person that he was. A precious stone to give to somebody for just asking them for directions. He shows he was a good man. I believe that the kind of person that Adamu is comes through to us. So let's all take that from here. Kindness and showing appreciation. So once more, David, thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you enjoy the reading?
Yes, ma'am.
I certainly did. I remember my babies, my girls, they're now ladies. But when they were babies, my husband and I used to take turns in reading to them. Our second daughter, Danielle in particular, she loved Winnie the Pooh. Everything Winnie the Pooh she loved. So we used to take turns to read to them. And that, You know, it's informed their reading habits. And our last daughter, she loved Barney, all things Barney. You know, she would wear us out with Barney, and we encouraged her to watch the movies and then to read stories. Reading is so important. It keeps the brain active, and that is the only way to get information. And like we all know, information is power. And you know what? The best way to encourage your children to love reading is to read to them and let them see you also reading, because you have to show them by examples.
Every good thing, they say, must always have an end. And I tell you, today's edition of Readers for Growth has come to an end. A very big thank you to our guest, Princess Pat Mohie. And thank you to Daniel.
Yes, ma'am.
Treasure.
Yes, ma'am.
David.
Yes, ma'am.
Favor.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course to you children at home. Thank you for having been part of today's edition of Readers for Growth. Don't forget to join us next week, same time, same show, same station. I am Busola Faiga Okbeolu. Read today,
Read tomorrow.
Bye for now.